Can you hear me fine like this? Yeah? All right. So let's get this started. Today we are gonna talk about a problem that many freelancers are facing nowadays. Generally, what happens when somebody has a freelancer business is that they sell their time and skills in exchange for money, and they reach a point where they're basically too committed with the clients, and they're using all the time they have available to, work for their clients without getting back sufficient time to either focus in growing their business or enjoying life, really. So today I'm gonna talk a bit about how a freelancer can transition to an entrepreneurial mindset, and we're gonna actually discuss about how we can take our services and package them up into an actual product that does not require our constant presence, all right? So yeah, let's continue. So just a bit about me, the boring part of this talk, I hope. So I'm an entrepreneur. I've been working for 15 years with enterprise companies, and 5 years ago I founded my main business that is called WebYourMind. It's based in Ireland, and it's a web and marketing company that specializes in acting as an accelerator for startups and existing businesses. So we help them with everything from product design and development up to achieving product market fit, and that includes developing digital products for them. My company is fully remote. All of my collaborators can work wherever they want. And actually today I met for the first time one of them, Antonio. We have been working together for a year almost, and this is the first time that we meet in person. Other than that, I have a marketing agency that is called Toppets Growth, and Kieran Stewart is my co-founder back there, the guy with the suit. Barney Stinson. And I have a bunch of other businesses, all remote. One is called Wim Analytics. It's focusing on data-driven marketing, and we help companies taking data-driven decisions. Other than that, I just wanted to mention that I work with a charity that is named Educare. We built a school in Vietnam that provides education to 50 children coming from disadvantaged families. All right, that's the annoying part. So, as for the workshop, so I really like this quote from Reid Hoffman. An entrepreneur is someone who jumps off a cliff and builds an airplane on the way down. And that's exactly how I feel every time I come up with a new business idea, right? And probably many of you feel like that as well. So, when it comes to transitioning to an entrepreneurial mindset, there's a few things that I suppose everybody should keep in mind, and we're gonna talk about those ones specifically. So on the left-hand side, we see all the typical approach of a general freelancer. So even I just want to say that probably some of you are already working towards an entrepreneurial path. So we're just gonna talk about the typical freelancer that sells their skills in exchange for money. So in general, they don't have products or some services that they delegate to somebody else. So a freelancer, as I just said, typically sells his own time or her own time and skills in exchange for money, while an entrepreneur is more focused in building products and services that will help him or her earning money while they sleep. They don't want to be constantly involved in every aspect of the business, right? So they want to build teams, systems, automations that will help them scaling their company, keep earning money, even when they're not physically delivering the activity. And a freelancer in general is focused in meeting a particular market demand, and while an entrepreneur, yes, can be focused in meeting a demand, so provide a solution for a specific problem that exists on a market, but they also can focus in creating new demand, like creating a market that does not yet exist, while a freelancer typically doesn't have that type of approach. And a very important thing is that a freelancer cannot remove himself or herself from the business. It means that if you stop working today, you are no longer earning money, right? Because you are, for example, if you are a developer or a marketer, and today you decide that you want to travel for 2 months, you no longer earn money unless you have products, but that makes you more of an entrepreneur than an actual freelancer. While, as I said earlier on, an entrepreneur wants to build teams, systems, and automations to help him or her making money while they sleep, or while they're traveling, or while they're spending time with their families. And a freelancer cannot sell its business as an asset, because they are the asset themselves, right? So it's not like you can decide that you want to make an exit and sell your freelancing business to somebody else. While an entrepreneur can, and there's many companies that actually are created every day just with the ultimate goal of selling their businesses and making a big exit, right? So that's another thing that an entrepreneur can do and a freelancer cannot. Generally speaking, a freelancer is less inclined to take a huge amount of risk, so they don't want to, invest a lot of money and think about the long-term reward. They prefer to, provide their services and be paid for whatever they deliver. While an entrepreneur is more willing to take risk, potentially invest a huge amount of money, well, not huge, but a consistent amount of money in return for a long-term reward, right? So the question that I ask to each one of my clients that they help in this transition is, if you remove yourself from the equation, does your business stop making money? So if the answer is yes, you're most likely still on the freelancer side. What if the answer is no? Probably you already built something that is supporting your business, even when you're not actively delivering. So, right, so now we need to focus on a few things. So say that today you decide that you want to look at your current services and build a way to turn your freelancing business into an actual company. There's 100 ways in which you could approach this, but today we're gonna focus on one, which is productizing your services and your skills. So we're gonna think about how we can review our freelancer services and package them up into products. And then we're gonna take a look at the particular thing that is called the Lean Plan or Lean Canvas. I don't know if any of you ever saw that. Does any of you know about the Lean Canvas? Awesome. Back there, back there. You do too, man. I'll get to you in a second. And ultimately, I'm just going to give you a few advices on how to build a team. Specifically, we're going to focus on how to make your first hire and how to decide which resource you should hire in the first place if you've never hired for your own business. So as I said, all right. So before we move to the Lean Canvas, I would like you to think about the following stuff. So first of all, ask yourself, which services do your clients purchase the most? So say you are a designer, right? Looking back at your client base, how many times you sold logo designs versus landing page creation? So try to find a partner and figure out what are the services that you're selling the most. And after you do that, focus on which services do your clients often purchase in conjunction with the above ones. So have you figured out that, for example, you always end up selling logo design and landing page design together? Or if you are a marketeer, you say paid ads, and then you do also like lead generation all together with the majority of your clients, or do you always sell them separately? And once you are able to identify which services are strictly coupled with each other, the next step is take those services and package them up into a productized service offer, right? Any questions so far on what I said? Does it make sense? Everybody wants to run? Okay, so this thing here, it's a Lean Canvas, right? And you can think about this template as a one-page business model. And the reason why it's called Lean Canvas is because It allows you to rapidly build up an actual business plan and start testing ideas on the market instead of spending months planning. This does not replace an actual business plan, but it's a great way to start thinking about how you can sell your own skills and services in the form of a product that you can scale, that you can teach to somebody else, and especially where you have a fixed set of pricing that can help you predict your revenue, while it's very difficult when it comes to consultancy and freelancing, because every client has his own budget and you always have to make different deals. While if you sell a product that is a specific price and different pricing points, you can immediately understand what would be the prediction for a certain year. For example, say that you sell logo design and landing page design for 500 euro, and you are targeting to make, you want to get 100 clients, so you just have to multiply 500 per 100 euro, and you know exactly how much you're going to own. Oh, did it switch back? Sorry. Sorry about that. We're here. Okay. So, we won't have too much time to work on this template, but I will illustrate now how this works, and then I will give you a link from which you can actually start filling in the link canvas, all right? So on the left-hand side, on the top left, we have the problems. So think about your current clients. What are the main problems you are solving for them? So what are the main problems of your clients? Using, again, the example of a graphic designer, generally, your clients are people that do not have particular graphic skills. They're not either proficient in that, or they don't have sufficient time to do that themselves. And the solution you offer them on the right side is actually providing high-level design services for your clients. It's very, very easy, right? So, and think about existing alternatives that the clients have, like free tools like Canva, for example, or any tool where they can come up with graphic creativities, even if they don't have particular graphic skills. That gives you a good overview of who your competitors are in terms of alternatives. Then we're not going to discuss the key metrics right now, but unique value proposition. So think about a single, clear, compelling message that states why you are different and worth paying attention. That's really what makes you unique, right? Compared to your competition. And then we can move to the unfair advantage. So this is something that cannot easily be bought or copied. For example, say that you are, again, I keep using this example about the designer. One thing that cannot be copied is that I've been working for 10 years in fashion companies and I've been designed for, Versace or something like that. So you have an expertise that is not easily copied by your competitors. And if you are a developer or you have a particular product, it could be that you provide enterprise-level services to small to medium-sized businesses because you've been in enterprise for many years. It's just an example, right? You have to spend more time on this and come up with something that makes it unique. And as for the high-level concept, it just, list your X for Y analogy. So YouTube equals Flickr for videos, or like Simone wants to do with Netflix for developers, right? So that could be a good analogy. And afterwards, you should think about your customer segments. And by that, we mean, what are your actual targets? Well, come up with personas around your customers. So who they are, what are the main pain points, what profession do they make, so how much they earn, etc., etc. Try to figure out, thinking about your freelancing business, what your main target is. And after that, try to list down the actual ideal customer for you. So who you really want to work with, who is more likely to buy your services, your product, actually. Okay, so, and then it comes, then you have to figure out how you're gonna reach out to your customers. Facebook groups, you're gonna run ads, you're gonna go call them in person, you're gonna do email marketing, you're gonna scrape down a list from angel list of all the clients in the US that are or, have been receiving funding between 150 and 500K. So list down how you're going to reach them out, right? So you have a clear idea of what your next steps are going to be in order to start getting these clients for your new productized offer. Afterwards, and this is very important, you should start thinking about your revenue streams and your cost structure. So first of all, think about how you're gonna make money. And this is important. Don't get stuck in time equals money. We are talking about building a product. So if you are a developer, right? That's a particular example. So say that you're very specialized in a technology like React, right? And in general, what you do is actually getting hired by clients that require React skills, right? So you do a particular project that can last between 1 and 12 months or even longer. But what you actually do is just being a developer for somebody else. Instead, if you want to shift your mindset, you should think about building a product with your own skills that you can sell to your clients. So you stop just working as a developer for a number of clients, but you start selling products. You make the investment once because you build the product with your current React skills, and then you start selling that to your clients. And here we have Simone Torrisi, that is here in the front, and is a very good example of a freelancer that became an entrepreneur. So he used to work as a developer for many years for his clients, and it got to a point where he could no longer, manage his own time as he wanted. So we worked together, and what he does now, he has his own team that works for him. He's no longer doing development, even if he's very talented at that, and he's starting to build actual products for his clients using his own skills. But once those products have been built, his main role becomes to grow the business and hire the right team to keep, scaling that. And right now, he has way more time. For example, he had the time to come to this very conference today, and he couldn't do that a few years ago. So, congratulations, Simon. So yeah, back to the revenue stream. So keep in mind that you have to think about packaging up your services. So I'm gonna sell a beginner package for $300, and the beginner package contains like logo design, landing page design, and social media, branding. And each client has to pay like $300 to get that. Then you think about a premium service, something you can add on top of this first offer, something more custom that you don't do for many clients, or something more high value, and that becomes like your second tier. And in general, you want to come up with 3 tiers, right? So something you can sell to clients that do not have a big budget or a big requirement, something that is actually your standard package that you want to sell the most, and something more advanced that you can sell, to large/enterprise clients. It really depends what you're targeting. And there's a very good example of a company. I don't have the slide here, but it's good to mention. Does any of you know Many Pixels? Have you ever heard about them? Many Pixels? How you do? So this company, they used to be designers or freelancers, but they came up with this great idea of selling everything as a package. So now they sell unlimited design services for $299 per month, I think, fee. And people might wonder, how can they sell unlimited services and make more money? But they came up with this great idea of saying, yes, you can ask us for as many designs as you want, as many revisions as you want, but every time you have to wait 24 hours to receive the creativity. So I want a logo, sure. You send a request, some of the designers will deliver that to you in 24 hours. If you're happy with the logo, fine, you can go with your next request. If you're not, each revision requires you to wait for another 24 hours. And they ended up making $70,000 per month in revenue, in monthly recurring revenue, and they are no longer tied to the time equals money, approach, because what they really do, they do client acquisition and they delegate to a bunch of people. They have a big team, and it's true that they sell their services for $300, but they're thinking in 1 hour they can serve up to 10, 15 clients. You know, they're very, very proficient, and they can manage their own time without, you know, having that connection. Time equals money. Check that out. Many Pixels, very good also for entrepreneurs that are looking for design services. I don't get any money by promoting them. Wish I did, but no. So the last thing you have to focus on, actually, there's a recommended order to fill those in, and you can find that online. But anyways, when it comes to the cost structure, think about what your costs are going to be. Remember that your goal is to be able to remove yourself from your business without seeing the business failing and stopping. So you want to have a team. You want to have automations, right? So, for example, if you are a designer, if you want to build a design product, you want to hire a designer. How much are you going to pay this particular resource? How much you want to pay that? Are you going to need a marketeer? Are you going to need salespeople? Do you need software? So list down your entire cost, right? So once you finish filling in this entire template, but keep in mind that the first job you have to do is this. So figure out what you want to package together, figure out the pricing for your new product. So once you fill that in, you have an actual business plan that you can already start implementing, and you can start focusing in each area. So client acquisition, you know exactly who your clients are going to be, you know where they are, where they hang out, you know the channels that they are going to use to find them. You know exactly what your costs are going to be, and you have a clear overview of what your new business will be. So start doing that. And that's exactly what we did with Simone. And initially you were struggling, right, to enter in this new mindset, because a freelancer has a particular mindset. I'm generalizing here. I'm sure that each one is different, but the thing they have in common is that I'm selling my time and skills. That I know that I do something very, very well. I have problem delegating, because you never know if somebody that you hire might be able to deliver the same quality that you do to your clients, and you don't want that to happen, right? And the other thing is that clients get used to you. They like to interact with you as the freelancer, and some of them might not be willing to see new people, but there's ways to approach that as well. So what we did, for example, with Simone, I was project managing. I was a project manager on for one of our clients' projects with Microsoft, and they were used to me. They worked with me for a while, so they wanted always to interact with me. So what I did with Simone is shadow me for a few months with the client. The client got used to interacting with him as well, and that allowed me to remove myself from that project. And it was like a high-ticket project, right? So there are ways to remove yourself from your business without having the problem of losing clients and money. And so there's only advantages, really. Okay, so if you want to maybe note this down, we're going to share the slides later, right? Yeah, so if you want to start working on your lean canvas, please visit canvanizer.com, and then you can select Create Canvas. I don't know if you have the laptop. If you don't, you can do that at home. Afterwards, select Business, and then choose the Lean Canvas. That will give you, it will ask you for the canvas title and your email, and afterwards you can start creating your Lean Canvas. Make sure to spend some time. Do not ask too much to yourself, because the Lean Canvas is something that you will review constantly, because the more you learn about your business, the more you want to perfect it, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just need to do the first version and start iterating over that, all right? Okay, any questions before I tell you a bit about teams? All right. So let's talk about teams, right? So say that you have shaped up your new business and you're now considering to hire someone to help you, and you never did that, right? So a question I get many times is, yeah, but how do I do all of these things? I do marketing, I do design, I do sales, I'm jack of all trades for my business because I'm a one-man or one-woman band, right? How do I decide who I should hire first? And there is an approach that I've used in the past and works. It might work for some of you, it might not work for others, but here it goes. So what I do in general is write down a list of each activity I'm currently doing for my freelancing or for my business as well. So everything you're doing as a freelancer includes marketing, social media, reaching out to clients, the actual work like design, building campaigns, writing down code, etc., etc. Once you do that, try to rank each activity, we'll see this in a minute, based on the effort it requires you. So how hard it is to perform this activity, how confident you feel, so how well you can deliver that. Like if you're very talented in design, probably your confidence level will be like 8 to 10. But if you don't really like to do design, it might be something like 1, 2, 4, right? You do that because you are, again, a one-woman or a one-man band, but that doesn't mean that you're necessarily talented at that, right? And the third thing you have to consider is how that particular task is important for your current freelancing activity or business. After you do that, your first tier should be the top ranked one. So you will sum up each rate that you gave to these 3 elements, and you can consider to hire the one that received the highest rate. We'll see an example in a second. After you do that, I really recommend that if you never managed teams in the past, you will start hiring 1 or 2 people and figure out the process that you want to adopt when you're going to make more hires. So work with a very small number of people, figure out how to improve the process, get feedback from them when it comes to managing them, and see how you work together. What we do currently with our partners, freelancers, we do run a trial. So what I do, I give them a project to work on, something self-contained. And after a trial period, we review together the collaboration, because the fact that somebody is a professional doesn't mean necessarily that it gets along with everybody. So you want to work with people that have a similar mindset to you, they share your vision, that you can work with in a healthy way. And if we end up working well together, we undersign long-term contracts, So when you decide to hire your next collaborator, you can restart from step number 1 and continue with the rest of the activities. So given that this probably doesn't make any sense to any of you, there's an example here, right? So as you can see, we have 3 columns. One is the effort. Well, we have 4 columns. One is the activity, one is the effort, one is the confidence level, importance, and the 5th column is total. So I start from 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so when it comes to effort, the ranking is 1 for a small effort and 10 for a very high effort. Be careful, because when you have to rank confidence level is the opposite. So 1 means that you're totally confident, and 10 means that you're not confident at all. Why is that? Because you want an higher ranking for tasks where you do not feel confident, because that's the higher you want to make. You want somebody that does it better than you, right? And importance is 1, not very important for my business, and 10 is really crucial and mission critical for my business. So in this example, I listed client acquisition with an effort of 8, a confidence level of 4, and 10, because without clients, there's no business, right? So it's probably one of the most important tasks for many businesses. Confidence level is 9, because we have talented developers. I was a software engineer for many years. And importance is 7, because we sell software. So it's quite important, right? And social media management, the effort is 4, because maybe we post once or twice a week. It's not something too complicated. Confidence level is 6. Yes, we do it decently, but not as good as a social media marketer could do it, right? And it's still important because it's part of our client acquisition strategy. Okay, awesome. So in this example, client acquisition gets a total number of points that is 22. So the first thing I'm gonna do is hiring somebody that can help my company with client acquisition, right? And that's exactly what we did. myself and Kieran. So does it make sense to you? Great stuff. Right, so we had only 1 hour, and there's so many things that we could cover about, becoming an entrepreneur, and like leadership, how to manage budgets, how to market your business, and so many topics that we cannot possibly cover in 1 hour. So I just wanted to let you know that we are organizing a 2-day workshop that is coming up in Q2 2020. And if you want more information about it, you can stop me at the end of the workshop. Actually, I would like to ask you to visit this link, http://ncwym2019. You're gonna find a form there, and especially if you want to see the material, because I'm gonna share with all of you some additional material about the topics that we covered today, and I'm more than willing to talk to each one of you. Feel free to send me an email in case you want more information about your specific use case, right? Because I'm sure that each one of you is in a different position with their freelancing business, so please get in touch. You'll find a type form, and you'll get also a question about asking you if you're interested in getting a 2-day workshop in the near future. Thank you very much. I hope this was interesting. Yeah. Thank you. So, how much time we have left? Yeah, okay, are there any questions? Anybody? Or is there a limit? There's no limit, but you don't want to confuse your clients, right? Because the more products you offer, the more unique channels you have to focus on. So if you offer like 20 products, you need to ensure that you're able to do proper client acquisition, drive your clients to the actual product they want to buy, and people don't want to think that much. So 3 is the magic number, and it works quite well. If you want to have a 4th one, it's generally a contact us product that you offer only to enterprise companies that have very specific requests. But the 3 pricing point works well.
When building on your team and you're working with freelancers or third-party vendors, when you want to bring them on as a partner, it's hard to get them from that freelancer mindset to that entrepreneurial mindset. How would you suggest that somebody wants to push them over that, jump over the
They should join my 2-day workshop. No, I'm joking. You sold me that. No. All right, so it's a good question. And Simone, as I said, we work with him. He was a freelancer, and he was struggling to transition to an entrepreneurial mindset, right? So what we did is a bunch of activities. First of all, I put him in front of the lean canvas, but you're talking more about partners that you want to have an entrepreneurial mindset, right? So definitely you should sit down with them, figure out what they're currently stuck with, right? So for example, if you work with a freelancer that is not very keen to take some amount of risk, for example, right, or that cannot see the bigger picture, you should take a step-by-step approach. If you want, we can stop later, and I can show you a bit of what I've done with some other clients, and talk more about your specific case. What type of partners are you looking for?
Do you suggest to have public prices on the website or prepaid bundles package?
That's a very good question.
Should be based on the value ladder.
Should it be based?
On the value ladder, this price growing up.
Yeah, definitely. It should be based on a value ladder. But to answer your question, which is very good, the answer I prefer to give the most is it depends. It depends on what type of services you're selling, right? If you're selling something that has a very small price, like 50 euro to 300 euro, something that does not scare your clients, and that people can easily decide to purchase, you can have public pricing. Otherwise, if you sell more like high-level / enterprise services, I would recommend to have a first contact with the client, also because you don't want to try to hard sell to them, because it's the same thing as somebody stopping you in the street and say, hey, do you want to buy my stuff? The clear answer is no, I don't want that. You want to warm happier clients, that we want to tell them a bit more about you and what kind of value you want to provide for them. Therefore, I recommend not to publish the pricing, especially if you're selling high ticket. Does it answer your question?
Sure, thank you.
Any other question? How much time? How much time we have? 5 minutes. Awesome.
I know you, so
Do you?
pretend I don't know you. You work a lot with freelancers.
Yep.
Okay, so freelancer will charge you a certain amount of money, and then you have to resell that service back together to your client. How do you ensure that you have enough margin? Because
So what we do in our company right now, so I used to work with Freelancer in a time and material fashion back in the days. So they were charging hourly, right? But we found a way to shift that, and what I'm doing right now is offering fixed contracts to my freelancers. So I have a fixed cost, I know exactly how much I'm paying them. And the majority of them are more than willing to transition to these fixed contracts, especially because we build long-term collaborations with our freelancers. So even if they might end up making more money for a self-contained project because they charge like 500 euro per day for a 1 month long project, maybe they're still willing to agree with us for like 1,500 euro. I'm just throwing random numbers, like let's say 3,000 euro per month, but they know that they're gonna work with us for a long term. And also what we try to do with our partners, freelancers, we offer them also benefits, like if they're actually part of our team. I'll get to your question after. So what we do is we pay for their training, if they want to improve their current skill set, and we know that it could be valuable also for our company. It doesn't matter for us if they're going to use those skills with other clients, but we're still willing to pay for them, and we recognize them bonuses. And I have to say that all the freelancers that work with us right now are quite happy. Also, they're all remote. My company is 100% remote. They can work wherever they want. I just focus on delivery. So to answer your question, given that I know exactly how much I'm going to pay a particular resource, I can definitely figure out the margin I want to make on top of that. You know? So I know I'm paying a React developer or a marketer 3,000 euro per month. I sell that for 3,000 plus my margin to clients. And it works quite well. Anything else? Anyone else? My name is Alex. My real name is Alessandro, but everybody spells that wrong, so, even in official documents. Like when I was living in Ireland, I saw Alex Sandro or Alessandro with one S, and it was complicated. I had to call them, so let's go with Alex. Thank you very much, everybody.